Hello, happy Wednesday and happy June. This is so awesome. We're almost done with school, officially summer soon. I hope everyone had a really nice Memorial Day weekend and last week of May. And here we are. I just got back from Florida. I had an amazing wedding down there. Someone my husband worked with took us down to, well, they didn't take us down, but the fact that they decided to get married in Jupiter, which is like West Palm Beach area, we took the whole squad with us. We used to go to West Palm Beach, I would say a good amount. I went twice, but that's a good amount for me, a girl that never travels, because Tom's grandparents had a house there. And when we first met, we would go down to visit them, and it was just amazing. We woke up, we would go to get coffee, then we would go to West Palm Beach CrossFit, which is like a legit gym, get our asses kicked, have a great workout. Then we would go get fresh acai bowls and sit on the intercoastal. It was just dreamy. But then they sold there. Oh, and that's where we found pickleball. Yes, me and Tom have been playing pickleball since 2015 against these amazing older people in his grandparents' retirement home. And yeah, we played it before it was cool. And it was the best thing ever. I think I laughed for 3 hours straight the first day we played it. But yeah, we've been playing since 2015 when we found it down in Florida, and the old crew kicked our tushes. But it was amazing. It was my favorite trip. We went down 2 years in a row, and then they sold their house and they bought a house up in Bumble F, New York, near Cooperstown, next to the Amish. And yeah, that's where we go now, in the snow. Damn it. But it was nice to get back. I'm actually recording this before we went, so I'm really hoping the flight went well with Rory. Rustin, I'm not so much worried about. Rory, I'm very nervous. So if you did hear about a plane having to emergency land somewhere in the Carolinas because a toddler was burning the place down, that was us. But yeah, should be amazing. So awesome. Today's podcast is going to be short and sweet. Well, not sweet. It's going to be a spicy one, which I know some people love. So, I mean, I'm going to rock the boat. And most likely, if you're listening to this, you do agree with me on most things anyway, right? You wouldn't listen to a podcast where you completely disagree with a person unless you just like getting riled up. But it's going to be a rant. It's going to be a spicy one, and it's going to be on the diet drugs. Yes. All right. So, to start this off, I mean, if you've been following me on Instagram or on this podcast or in life for more than 30 seconds, you probably know how I feel about this rage of diet weight loss drugs. Whether it's Ozempic, Mounjaro, semaglutides, anything, I know there's 1,000 other names, Wegovy, 1,000 other names for them. You know how I feel, right? I don't hide it. I'm not worried about pissing people off. Everyone has the right to their own opinion, and I voice mine on it. So I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into why I feel the way I do, because sometimes, Instagram reels and captions don't let you actually say all you want to say, or people read it with a different tone than you intend it. So here I am today. Now, first off, I have to set the stage with the fact that I'm not I'm not perfect here, right? Like I took hydroxycut in college. I remember going to buy it and completely hiding it in my dorm room. I was like so embarrassed. I didn't want people to know. I was like, the bigger friend out of all the skinny girls. And I hid it in my top drawer. I would secretly take it. Nothing happened. I think I got like a caffeine high. I later learned out that, 90% of those skinny girls at college were on coke. So hydroxycut was the least of, our college's worries. But I didn't know any better. And I surely didn't know the world of drugs. So hydroxycut was a no-no, right? I didn't I didn't touch anything in high school. I was a total prude. So hydroxycut was pretty much like, me smuggling in illegal drugs. But I took it. I wanted to try and lose weight. I didn't know really what to do. I was a Division I athlete at a top 10 school. So I was moving, right? I wasn't like a lump on a log. I had practice twice a day. I was lifting, I was running, I was playing. Like my energy output was insanely high. What was missing for me was my nutrition. I did not understand the world of nutrition, right? When you grow up an athlete, especially in my generation, pasta parties were like what you thought nutrition was. I thought bowls and bowls of carbs was what you were supposed to eat, and it tasted good, so I'm not going to argue with it. Nutrition like wasn't a cool thing when I was growing up. Neither was drinking water. Like we always joke now that all the high school kids walk around with these 40-ounce glasses of water in school, yet like I think I had water for breakfast maybe, and then not again till after practice. Like I was definitely not hydrated. So I was definitely moving, but I just didn't understand nutrition. And you're a college kid. I had an unlimited meal card ticket. I drank, obviously, like I went out. I'd late night eat. I didn't sleep right. So I put on a little bit of weight. I didn't put on a ton, but I just was never as thin as these other girls. And I was never as thin as most of my friends growing up. You guys know that from my roast episode. So I bought Hydroxycut. I looked for another way, a quick fix, I would say. But again, I was super, super active. I've done juice cleanses. I posted a picture of me that I like posted on my Instagram years ago with me finishing up my juice cleanse. So there you go. There's another quick fix. But I was working out at the time and I was trying to, figure out my calories. And yes, I was definitely drinking and overeating on the weekends, but I didn't understand the world of nutrition. So I thought this juice cleanse was exactly what I should do. So I don't want to sit here and put myself up on this pedestal that I've never in my life looked for a quick fix or, look for a way out. But I can promise you for since I've been 5 years old, I've been active. I've been lifting, I've been running, I've been playing sports. So that side has always been there. My work ethic has always been there. I just was not educated. So I don't want to be a hypocrite. I'm not going to pretend like I didn't try things, but I do want to make sure that everyone knows that it was not because I didn't want to or I didn't want to do the work, right? Again, like I was up at 5 a.m. lifting, running, and playing sports my whole life. It was just that I was uneducated. I was misinformed. I didn't understand nutrition. No one taught me. Health class did not even come close to covering that. No one focused on it in college either, right? Like you'd think going to Duke University, playing at a top 10 college, you'd have like more of an education on nutrition. And I think they 100% do now. I think it's a big thing that colleges have. But back then, that nope. Like we ate at the mess hall and the normal like cafeteria that everybody ate, and there was definitely not the best choices there. And yeah, we had pregame meals, but it was like Jimmy John's Heroes and stuff. Like it definitely was not ideal. We had like um what are those like granola bars with like s'mores granola bars in our locker room, and again just not something that like taught me anything. And luckily got brought into the CrossFit world, which I first learned about macros, and things changed. But again, I definitely have tried things. I definitely looked for answers when I didn't know, so I get it. Right, I also want to make sure everybody knows listening to this that I don't necessarily like judge I mean a little bit I do, but I don't hold grudges, or I'm not going to like shake my head at you for the rest of your life if you did try these things, right? So if you were on Ozempic for a year and then you come to CJLC looking for help, I'm not going to be like, sorry, we don't work with people like you because you tried Ozempic. That's not how I am. I would never be like that. If anything, I'm going to praise you and be so happy that you're looking for a lifestyle change and you realize that that was not the way to go. So I don't think that it makes you a bad person. I don't think that it's, saying something about your character fully. I would welcome you with open arms to come here and learn about nutrition and learn about fueling your body and strength training 1,000%. So if anyone is listening to this that is on one of the diet drugs or is thinking about it, don't think that this door is closed for you. I will again welcome you with open arms. I will teach you. I will show you. I don't think you're bad. I don't think you're dumb. I just think there's so much misinformation out there, and unfortunately, you went down the rabbit hole, which I think is the worst choice that you could make. Um, so that's that. So hopefully everyone understands this is not coming from a place of me hating people. It's more so me coming from a place of like not liking society, where it's going, what we're trying to teach our youth, and what is being created. So first thing I want to do, right, besides that, my little like trigger warning, I guess, is look at how these drugs work. And yes, they've been around forever. They're not like a new drug. I know when I compared it to getting the COVID shot, some people went bonkers because they were like, the COVID shot was was, made in 3 weeks and people were supposed to take it. This has been around for years. And I get that. But at the end of the day, you're taking a drug that we really don't know the side effects for because of something, right? I know I was against the COVID vaccine, not against, but I didn't take it. I would have never taken it. And I would also never take these, right? So I stand firmly on both sides, right? Not going to take a COVID vaccine for something that gave me a sniffle, and I'm not going to take Ozempic or the weight loss drugs. So I was on both. It boggles my mind the people that were like anti-COVID. I can't do it. This is ruining the country. You're stabbing yourself with poison. Oh, but there's a weight loss drug. Let me get it, right? That really bothers me. I just think it's very hypocritical. Just doesn't. I don't think it gives you a backbone or something to stand on. So first off, right, these weight loss medications, they work in different ways to treat obesity. They're obviously first used for diabetics. Some are getting modified now, not to be for diabetics, just to be for weight loss. Some of them, right, they make you feel less hungry. They can make you full sooner, while others make it harder for your body to absorb fat from the food you eat, right? Some medications also can target cravings, food preferences, and thoughts about food. So they're actually using these drugs to help people with like addictions now too, like smoking, and to calm down food noise, right? Some people claim that all they think about is food and they just need to get another thought out of their head. I don't know how much I believe that. I mean, me and Coach Steph, we talked about this once. We think about food all day, right? I think about what I'm going to eat next and I'm jacked up about it all day. So maybe that's food noise and you're not supposed to think that way. But just because you think about something doesn't necessarily mean you're shoving it in your mouth all the time either. Like I also know how to think about something and be excited for dinner, but not eat 7,000 calories of shit. But they do all that stuff, right? So they decrease appetite, they increase your feelings of fullness, they interfere with fat absorption, they stimulate the receptor for the hormone glucagon. It's like a peptide one, and they improve your body's ability to secrete insulin, aka why they're made for diabetes. It's funny because like when you Google this and stuff, it says like weight loss medication should be combined with a healthy lifestyle, such as exercise and eating nutritious foods. This is a short term thing, right? This should not be forever. There are side effects such as nausea, constipation, diarrhea, abdominal cramps, headaches, gallbladder stones, having to remove your gallbladder. More serious side effects, pancreatitis, and other inflammatory diseases. So these are no joke. Now, yes, they work, but they work because they stop you from eating so much. Guess what would also do that? A caloric deficit, right? So I had a client the other day who wanted to quit, right? She was a week and a half in. She wanted to quit because she wasn't losing weight. And she said, like, I'm gonna go on Ozempic or I'm gonna go on the weight loss drug. And I was like, you're only eating 1,100 calories a day now. Like if you go on this weight loss drug, you're going to eat 500 calories a day. That's the trick, right? It just makes you eat less. Like we could try that if you want. So it doesn't have any secret power. It makes you fuller. So like you just don't think about it. It just puts you in a caloric deficit, right? This is why all Jordan Syatt, all the famous nutrition people out there keep repeating the only way to lose fat is to go in a caloric deficit. That is it. That is the one and only way. Caloric deficit. Eat less than you burn, right? And that's what these drugs do. They are not a secret. They are not a trick. They are not special. All they do is put you in a caloric deficit, just like any other diet would, just like a coach would. But we do it safer. So now that we know kind of what they do, here I'm going to go into my issues with them, right? The first thing a baby does when it comes out of the womb, right, is cry and want to eat, right? I'm pretty sure Rustin latched on me within 30 seconds of life. They want food. They're hungry. It is innate. They don't cry for clothing. They don't cry for shelter. They cry for food, for nourishment. You are taking away that one thing that a baby's brain knows is right. Babies don't know shit, but they do know they're supposed to eat. I'm supposed to eat to keep myself alive. They know that. They literally don't know anything. They're a blank slate, but they know that. I'm going to cry because someone's going to feed me and then I'm going to be okay. You, as an adult, wisdom, elder, supposed to be smart, you are doing the opposite. You are stopping yourself from eating. stopping yourself from getting nutrition. Because of what? Because you want to lose weight fast. You are destroying your internal health. So again, the one thing a child knows, who knows nothing, who shits in a diaper, who eats their own boogers, who literally couldn't keep themselves alive without help, knows that they should eat. But you, as a wise adult, are taking that away from you. Just does not add up. It makes no sense. It also fucks with your fat metabolism, like your fat absorption, right? So many people I know of have gotten their gallbladder removed, gallbladder stones, people close to me, yet they pretend it's for some other reason. Yeah, okay, the gallbladder doesn't do a ton of things, right? We don't need it, quote unquote. But we also don't just need to get rid of it because we want to lose weight, right? Like that's a problem. People puke on this all the time. They're nauseous. Nauseous sucks, right? People complain they get morning sickness. They hate it. It's awful. Morning sickness is the worst thing ever. It's the worst. Oh my God, I'm postpartum. Can I be on Ozempic? Like, really, bitch? You just complained to me for 6 months that you were fucking nauseous, and now you're going to put yourself on a drug that makes you nauseous because you want to lose weight quicker? Like, smack. Right? So, my biggest problem, right, is that no one's changing their lifestyle. I know a lot of people on this drug, and I don't even know, and I'm not even in that circle, right? So, I'm sure if I was an overweightish, a little bit older mom, I would know a ton more. But I'm very lucky that my circle is hardworking, younger moms who go to the gym and, eat right. So my close friends, I don't know a ton of people, but obviously the people I work with, people around me in town, people that I know that I heard are on it. So many people, right? It is taking over the world. And I don't know one person on it that is changing their lifestyle. Not one. Everyone that I see on it eats the same shit. McDonald's, Chinese food, fatty foods, desserts. They have not started working out, barely going for walks, and still drinking. I have zero respect for that. It's basically saying I'm going to put in no effort and no work, but I'm going to take this drug because it's going to make me lose weight. Right? So to me, that is everything wrong with society today. All right. I'm obviously a high school teacher, so I see the youth and I see even people my generation. Again, I'm very lucky because my circle is chosen very strictly, but that's what everyone bitches about, right? The millennials and the Gen Zs, they have no work ethic. They expect things handed to them. They want quick fixes and immediate gratification. Hello? What are these diet drugs? They are a quick fix, low effort, instant gratification. I want success without sacrifice. It is all what's wrong with the world today, literally. And it's very hypocritical for the older generation to bitch about the millennials and the Gen Z saying, they don't want to work, they're lazy, blah, blah, blah. Yet here I am sticking myself with a God knows what chemical because I don't want to fucking go for a walk, or I don't want to eat chicken with a vegetable and a baked potato. I want to go to McDonald's and I want to have my wine. So who are you calling lazy? Look in the mirror. And I also am so sick of it, but I've tried everything. People have looked me dead in the eye and said that. Like, nothing works. Nothing's working for me. And I roll my eyes and I keep my mouth shut because I hate confrontation. It's not my job to fix everybody. But I know you. You don't move. You don't work out. You don't lift. You don't walk. You don't count your macros. You don't count your calories. You don't try and eat protein. Like, there is just a laundry list of things that you could have done before taking this drug. And then people walk around like their shit doesn't stink. Like, it's not very obvious that they're on Ozempic. That always makes me giggle too, right? Like, you lost 70 pounds in 6 months, Karen. I've never seen you with a salad or with a dumbbell in your life. Don't walk around here like you're better than us or you're better than the person that's still overweight and is trying the right way. You're not. You're worse. You're taking a quick fix. You're not changing anything about you. You're killing your insides. And then you're walking around like you're Miss Thang. You didn't do anything for it. Right? It's like winning the lottery and pretending you're like this financial like savant. You got lucky. And I really think, and this is going to really grind my gears in like 10 or 15 years, when the lawsuits start to come out. Like, we know that's going to happen. We 1000% know it's going to happen. Happened with hydroxycut. Someone is going to sue these companies for these drugs. It's going to happen. You know, I got too sick, my gallbladder, 10 years later, I have cancer, shocker, right? There's going to be lawsuits. And everyone taking this, they're going to be the first people looking for the lawsuit. Once they realize the damage that it caused their internal health, they're never going to point their finger at themselves. All right, now I want $5 million because what Ozempic did to me. Did to you? Ozempic didn't knock on your door and stab you in the shoulder and run away. You sought it out. You went to get it. You put it in your body. I hope people don't get $1. Right? Like, you're choosing. And again, it's not because nothing works for you. Nothing works for you is keto didn't work for you. Weight Watchers didn't work for you. Optavia didn't work for you. Intermittent fasting didn't work for you. Why? Because those are all fad diets and they're not sustainable. And once again, they're all quick fixes looking for things without effort. Those didn't work, correct. Just like this won't work if eventually it runs out. You're going to put the weight back on because you learned no new skills, no new habits. You didn't change your lifestyle at all. It's just so hard. And I would never take it, even if I hit my 200-pound marker again. I don't know if I have too much pride in myself, but I would be very, very embarrassed. Because there is an answer, right? If there really wasn't an answer, if a doctor looked me dead in the face and said, you are the one person on earth who a caloric diet deficit won't work for. The only thing that's going to work for you is Ozempic. First off, I wouldn't believe that doctor. Second of all, that's not going to happen. But if that was really the only thing that could happen, maybe. But a caloric deficit works for every single human being if you go about it the right way. Not one person in over the 200 clients we've had in this year won't lose weight. If they just follow the steps, if they're patient, they will lose weight and they will keep it off. It works for everybody. Cancer survivors, people with cancer, people with fake hearts, people with PCOS, people with Hashimoto's, people with endometriosis, people with lymphedema, people with anything. Literally, we have every ailment under the sun. It works. You just don't want to put the effort in. You just don't want to wait. You want it now with as little effort as possible. Now, if I saw a person who took Ozempic, signed up for a gym, started counting their macros, started drinking more water and prioritizing their sleep, you know what? Okay. You needed maybe some help in getting that kickstart, right? You're 400 pounds. It hurts you to even take steps. Cool. Lose 50 pounds from Ozempic, sign up for the gym, start monitoring your macros. Power to you. Well done. I won't have 1 ounce of bad things to say about that choice. That's not anybody I've seen. Not one person. Yeah, and of course, there's people on Ozempic that maybe go to Orange Theory once in a while. They probably don't count their macros. They're probably nutrition is shit. Right? Like, yeah, okay, I'm not saying that anyone on these weight loss drugs doesn't try and be active. I'm sure they do. But they're not putting all the pieces together. They're not giving themselves the best chance. And that's why I just think they're so ridiculous. And they get me so angry. And another reason, and this is going to piss people off too, but so is this whole podcast probably. The example that I want to be for my kids could not be further away from someone that uses diet drugs. I am so zoned in on the legacy and the, not even legacy, just on the role model that I am for my kids. I want them to see a mom who is strong, who works hard, who's resilient, who overcomes, who is patient, who wakes up every day and works, who puts time in, who doesn't complain, who doesn't get sidetracked, who doesn't expect things that she doesn't earn. That is so important to me. I love that they see me get up for the gym at 4:30 in the morning. Well, I guess they don't see me because they're sleeping, but they know that I'm there. I love that we take them to the gym on Saturdays and they know that we work out every Saturday, right? We figure it out. I love that they see me and my husband meal prep. I love that they see us on a walking pad when it's raining out so we can get our steps in. I love that they see it every week, right? I love that I took them to Friendly's today at 10:30 for ice cream because Rustin had a badass soccer game. He did great. There's a balance, right? They have fun. They also know that protein and colorful food makes them strong, right? But they can also have ice cream at 10:30 in the morning if they also ate, some protein with it. They know that's you're moving your body is important. But going to bed at appropriate times is good. Mommy and daddy go to bed early. We need our sleep. We're up early to work, right? I want them to struggle a little bit because I want them to be resilient. I want them to learn how to overcome obstacles. And when things don't work out, they keep fighting. And that's everything these drugs are not doing and not showing, right? So if you're expecting your kids to be a certain way, or if you're sitting there and bitching about the generation below you, yet you're doing these things, you need to take a hard look in the mirror and do one of two things. Stop and change your ways. Or two, stop calling out other people because you're throwing a rock at a glass house. You are doing those things. And I'm sorry if it makes people feel bad, but these diet drugs are 1000% the easy way out. I want changes without effort. I want success without sacrificing anything. Like I heard a story about a girl that literally had to get her gallbladder taken out because she was eating so much fat on Ozempic, and then her first meal out of the hospital was Chick-fil-A mac and cheese. And this was not like a rumor. It was a best friend's friend of mine, like on the phone with her. And I'm not going to say how I feel because I might get blocked on podcast life. But oh my God, did I have words. I would be mortified if that was my kid. Embarrassed. Like you can't give up Chick-fil-A mac and cheese after getting your gallbladder taken out because you're on a diet drug. The world doesn't have space for people like that. So yes, I'm very opinionated on these, but it's not, I don't think it comes from a place of you can't argue with it. I mean, I guess you can, everyone has their own opinion, but what about these drugs? When I say they're a quick fix, can you deny? When I say that these drugs are people wanting success without sacrifice, what can you deny? What can you deny that they don't want to put the work in? You can't because there's options, right? Again, they're not stuck. They're not cornered against the wall. They're not, this is my last chance. It's not. Maybe it's the last fad diet you've picked, but you haven't put the time in, you haven't put the work in because then you'd see results. Plain and simple. So that is that. I would love to hear if you guys agreed with that or not. I don't know if people comment on my podcast because I don't really even know how to log onto my Apple one, but let me know. Am I dying on a hill that no one agrees with? Do people agree with me, but they're afraid to say it because everybody is on it? All right. I feel like I'm in Cold War times where if you mention anything bad about Ozempic or Wegovy or Mounjaro, the circle of people you're in, there's 10 people on it, whispering about you, about to kidnap you or something. So many people are on it and so many people hide it. That should also, I thought I was done, but I'm not yet. That should also show you something, right? When I took Hydroxycut, I hid it because I was embarrassed, right? Because I knew that it was the easy way out. I should have just been doing more, maybe researching more, figuring it out, maybe skipping booze on the weekends. I wasn't proud of the choice because it was a weak choice. People are not out and about with them being on Ozempic and Wegovy. They hide it, right? They don't fly their flags. Most people deny it at first. Eventually it comes out because, again, like, you're not moving and you're not changing your eating habits and you're losing weight. We're not dumb. But the fact that people are not boasting about it or like, whoo, Team Wegovy, something is wrong. You're not proud of it. Why? Because you know it's the easy way out. You know it's a quick fix. You know that you're choosing convenience over any kind of work ethic. You're not being resilient. You're not overcoming obstacles. You're not putting effort in. Right? We don't hide things we're proud of, even though the people are walking around like, whew, Miss America. But you are hurting yourself, right? One, these drugs are eventually going to run out or get back ordered and the weight's going to come on. Or two, you're going to cause yourself serious health issues in the future. You are denying yourself of fuel. You are abolishing your metabolism, right? That metabolism that's supposed to have fire on it and fueling and burning, you're feeding it 800 calories a day. It is sludge. Your hormones, fucking. Don't blame your weight gain on menopause, because you are completely fucking your hormones even more with this stuff. Menopause is the least of your worries. You are destroying your hormones, your metabolism, your internal health, your muscles. You're going to fall and break your hip at 35 years old because you're going to be osteoporosis because you're going to have no protein, no calcium, nothing. Like I say it today, I bet you the levels of osteoporotic people, women, skyrocket in the next 20 to 30 years. Right? When grandmas used to be the ones falling and breaking their hips, it's going to be like moms, 50-year-old moms breaking their hips because they're so frail on these drugs. Right? You are losing muscle. People's body fat percentages are going up on these drugs because your body is eating its muscle. You're turning into a lump of lard. Your bones are getting weak. You're slowing your metabolism. You're destroying your hormones. Your skin is sagging. Your hair is brittle. For what? To lose 50 pounds? I can get you to lose 50 pounds. I promise. Eating 2,000 calories, making your bones strong, making you curvy and strong and fit and tough and your hair thick and your skin glowing. We can do that for you. It might not take 6 months. It may take a year or 2 years. But what sounds better? You're putting yourself in an early coffin taking these drugs, 1,000%. Don't you want to be around for your family? Right? Like moms and grandmas who say their number one reason for getting healthy is their kids, but you're going to take Ozempic. You're a liar. Because you're going to die earlier, or you're going to be immobile, or you're going to be so tired you can't move. You're not telling the truth. Because if you did care about your kids, if you cared about your family, you would do things the right way. You would prioritize your internal health and realize that this is a slow process, but a healthy one. Okay, so now that I lost about half of my very small following to begin with, that's how I feel. I know people agree with me. I know people don't, but that's okay. And have a lovely June. Again, I will gladly welcome you here with open arms if you decide to put the drugs aside and give this a try. I won't even ask questions. I won't even ask how long you're on it or why you went on it. Clean slate. We'll focus on your metabolism. We'll heal your hormones. We'll make your skin full and glowing again, and your hair not falling out of your head, and your ass not sagging to the ground. Okay? I promise. Okay. Have a lovely Wednesday. Thank you for listening. Please send this to people. I wish there was like an anonymous send button that you could just send it to the family chat. Be like, oh, heard this podcast on Ozempic. I know no one in my family is on it, but just in case you guys want to listen, even though you know half of them are. But have a lovely day. And as you know, like always, show up and live A-.